Hey, how's it going, Breadwinners? HummusThunder here, and today I am bringing you guys a video showcasing some of my favorite S&D class setups to run, as well as my my bindings and my keys and settings at the end of the video, about halfway through. So I wanted to get this video out to you guys because a lot of you have been asking me for this information. So without wasting any more time, let us get straight into the video. Also, at the end of this video, I actually go over a really good aim shooting technique that I use to practice my flicks and my rotations and my aiming that you don't need a PC to do. You just need Modern Warfare. You can be on a controller or keyboard and mouse. It's a super cool technique, a really nice aim training exercise. You guys will definitely benefit from the information I have at the end of this video. In the number 5 spot, we have the ISO. You guys know I'm a big fan of the ISO. One of my biggest videos is the ISO. The class setup that I like to use is the FSS Nightshade barrel, Commando Foregrip, an Optic of my choice, the 30-round magazine, and Stippled grip tape. Or sometimes I'll replace the Stippled grip tape with the Collapsible stock like you see over here. The ISO is just one of those guns that were really bad back in the day, but I still kind of liked it, and as soon as they gave it a buff alongside the Fennec, it became much better. You can actually use this gun against most guns in the game if it isn't a CR56 or an ASFL. It's very slept on, and if you haven't used it before, I would recommend you guys try it. Moving on to my number 4 spot, we have the Ram 7. Now the Ram 7 is one of those guns a lot of people really didn't like using because they weren't sure how to kit it out, what attachments to put. It took me a while to actually learn what I like and what I don't like on the Ram as well, but once I figured it out, I really ended up loving the gun. I mean, it fries. It's gotten me my highest kill game yet. It actually got me to choke my nuke as well. It wasn't really the gun's fault. It was really the 7.25's fault and the Marksman rifles, but the Ram 7 is just a really good gun altogether. If you kit it out correctly, it'll definitely have your back in almost all situations. This is the class setup that I like to run on my Ram 7. I have the Monolithic Suppressor, an Optic of your choice, the close quarters ADS stock, 50-round magazine, and Commando Foregrip. You really don't need to run anything other than this class setup. If you want to drop the suppressor and put a big barrel, I guess. If you want to go ahead and get rid of the 50-round mag, I suppose. But this is definitely the class setup that you want to go ahead and run with because it helps you beam people and keep sustained fire from long range because of how fast the fire rate is, and also can kill people from close to mid range. Now moving on to my number 3 spot, we have the Uzi, the mini Uzi. This gun is a fan favorite among a lot of S&D players because the Uzi is just a very versatile weapon. It's very good for long range, close range, mid range, and whatever it may be. If you kit it out correctly, and I'll put the class setup right now, this is what I'm running: the Monolithic Suppressor, Carbine Pro, GI Min Reflex, the Stippled grip tape, and 4180 rounds. You can seriously fry anyone. And the clips you're seeing here is basically attesting to that. The Uzi is one of the most popular guns. Almost everyone likes it, almost everyone uses it, and it definitely has a place in my top 5 favorite guns. That's why I put it at number 3. It's funny because the Uzi was one of those guns that I really did not like using when it first came out. Even with the new the rounds, I was like, this gun just doesn't feel good. The open bolt, I don't like the way that the recoil handles the movement. I'm not a fan of it. As I kept using it though, I realized that this thing is a hidden gem. It is absolutely disgusting. So that is why I put this gun in my top 3 favorite guns to use. Now moving on to the number 2 spot, this is a gun I've made a lot of videos on, and if you're a long-time subscriber from the channel, and if you know when I first started posting S&D videos, this is the gun that really stuck with me, and it is the M4A1. I love them. I mean, this gun is just one of my favorite guns to use. It's just super versatile. It's not as good as it was back when it first came out, but trust me, that will not stop people from calling you out for using it, telling you that you're just trash for using M4A1, etc. They don't know what they're talking about. The M4A1 is nowhere near the best gun in the game anymore, but it's still super fun to use. This right here is the class setup that I like to use on it. It's the Monolithic Suppressor, Corvus custom Marksman barrel, the no stock, Stippled grip tape, and Commando Foregrip. Very good class to run. You can always drop the Stippled grip tape for a 5 milliwatt or a 50-round magazine if that's what suits you. It's versatile in all sorts of ways you want to play with it. If you want to make it an SMG, you can. Long range, you can. Mid range, you can. It's such a fun gun to use, and seriously one of the staples of Modern Warfare multiplayer in my opinion. Before the ASFL, this was the king of Call of Duty. The M4 was one of the best guns to use day in and day out. Now, before I go into my number 1 spot, I want to give an honorable mention, and that is the Jag-12. This gun is super fun to use, especially if the enemy team is using an ASFL or shotguns or ice shield. If they're just being toxic, this is the gun to pull out to be toxic as well. A lot of people get mad when he uses gun, considering that this isn't the best shotgun and there's so many better guns and they're also being toxic. It just makes people mad, and that's why it's really fun to use. The setup that I like to run for this gun is the big barrel, the Force Track Marauder suppressor, the 5mm wall laser, Stippled grip tape, and then the Dragon's Breath rounds. It's typically what I use. It's kind of a niche gun. The Dragon's Breath round is just there to piss people off. It's very interesting to use. Plenty of times where I pull this gun out, it ends up getting the win for me because I know how to play with it, especially with the riot shield. You can use that for cover, and you can use it for when they're turning their backs or if they're reloading or whatever it may be. This gun has crazy range, and that's exactly why it's so broken, especially in long range situations. Now moving on. Now in my number one spot is the MP5. I'm pretty sure a lot of you saw this coming, but the MP5 is my favorite gun in the game. It's super fun to use, good time to kill, good movement. Attachments are not too like crazy. They don't make the gun too like bad or imbalanced. If you put like a no stock with like a 10mm round magazine, it's just an all-around really fun weapon to use. It's not as broken as people make it out to be. Trust me, the Uzi, the CR56, the AS Val, those are all better than the MP5, but people still seem to hate on you for using it. But I'm here to tell you right now, it's just an all-around balanced and fun weapon to use. It's up there as being one of the better guns, but it's nowhere near as broken as what most people these days use in S&D. My MP5 class setup that you guys know I love to use is this one right here, the Commando Foregrip, Compensator, collapsible stock, 10mm round magazine, and sleight of hand, because you really need those fast reloads for this weapon. It has one of the slowest reloads without sleight of hand. I don't even have to explain why it's so good. It's just such a fun weapon to use. Like it's the most satisfying SMG in the game in my opinion, and that is why the MP5 is in the number one spot for me. For the sake of the length of this video, I'm not going to go ahead and explain all my settings to you. I'm going to just leave it here on the screen. If you want to see a certain part, just pause it. When I go there, I'm going to go through everything. I'm actually going to answer some questions some people have been asking me, like how to play better, how to get better, how to have better movement and stuff. And I just want to start off by telling you that practice makes perfect in Call of Duty, and in anything in life, the more you practice something, the better you'll be. Now, for example, one thing that I like to focus on when I'm playing Call of Duty, when I'm playing any game, is figure out what I'm bad at, not what I'm good at. Now, if I'm really good at aiming, if I'm really good at snapping, I'm not going to only focus on that. I'll only put a little bit of time aside to focus on that. What I'll try to do is perfect my imperfections. For example, if my 180s are really bad, if my side canceling timing is bad, that's what I'm going to practice on. Now, a really good way to practice these things is going to bots, shooting bots, load up 6 bots, go to shipment, and just go to town on them. Always change your sensitivity, always up your sense until you understand what feels better for you, until you get a good feeling for you know, like how much it takes for you to move and how comfortable you are with that certain setting. I would constantly do that. If you're on keyboard and mouse, you can download Aim Labs for free, or Kovacs 2.0. I believe it's a couple bucks on Steam. Those are really good aim trainers. I, for one, have never used the aim trainer. I've only played COD and on keyboard and mouse, and I only learned on just playing COD, playing against bots, and playing against people online. A really good method you could do if you don't want to buy an aim trainer is go ahead and load bots up, make sure you have spawn ammo mags on 0, and go ahead and put scavenger as your first perk, and every time you kill an enemy, you're gonna go ahead and get ammo, and they won't have ammo. They're gonna run at you full speed to try to kill you, and that's where you can practice your flicking and your aiming while you have ammo and they don't. But be wary, when they kill you, they pick up ammo, and it'll be harder and harder to kill them because you're not gonna spawn with any ammo, but they will have some. Another really big tip I like to give people is map knowledge and map awareness, not getting tunnel vision. Sometimes people get nervous, they tunnel vision when they're in a 1v6 situation, their heart starts beating fast, and they're very nervous. They make mistakes because of that, because their nerves get to them. I'm telling you right now, breathing is very important. Just breathe. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a video game, and if you just relax and just have a clear sight, just pretend the round just started. Pretend it's only 1v1, and just like the round just started, you're not gonna be as nervous. Just take a breather, make sure your back is always covered in those situations. In a clutch situation, you never ever want to pretend, never want to, like, if you came from somewhere and no one was there, you should automatically assume somebody's there. That's always what you should do, because in those situations, they're gonna try to pinch you as fast as possible. Kill, move, kill, move, kill, move. You always want to be moving. You never want to be slowing down. Always have your back protected, and always check your covers and corners and angles. You always want to do that. I mean, these are just some little tips I wanted to give you guys at the end of this video. I know there's a lot more that can go on and on about, and I might do that for a later video, but I wanted to just throw some of the most important stuff I have to offer at the end of this video. If you did enjoy it though, consider dropping a like, subscribing to the channel, send this to somebody who you think will benefit from the information in this video. I'll be going ahead and uploading more gun videos tomorrow. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you very much.